Hi everybody and welcome to another great Nate video. I'm Nate and with me today is Jason Clark. How are you doing, Jason?
I'm doing good.
This is the beginning of a versus videos series that me and Jason are going to be producing together, and the first set of videos is kind of going to focus on what might be some viable decks that people are going to be playing in the post Eldrazi meta, which, while not officially announced, I think it's pretty well accepted that is going to happen. Now, something I want to mention before we get started, this is really only possible because of Card Hoarder. You're going to notice a little symbol there between me and Jason, and that is the Card Hoarder logo. What they're doing is they are essentially loaning me all the pieces that I need to play the deck that Jason is playing. And something I want to mention just about Card Hoarder is they don't require that anybody that they loan cards to actually promote their business. But what they're doing for the community is really awesome. They have a program where essentially it's with Twitch, but he's doing it for me on YouTube. But if you have over a certain number of viewers, he will lend you a deck to kind of help you make content and just help put more content out there for the Magic the Gathering community. And I think that that's a great service for the community that he's providing, that he doesn't have to. And I want to make sure that that they get credit for what they're doing. And just on a more personal note, I mentioned it in my previous video, but I used to use MTGO Traders for everything. And I actually think MTGO Traders does a great job, and this is in no way a slight to them, because I think what they do is awesome. But for me personally, I found Card Hoarder's website to be a little bit better, their buy list prices to be a little bit better, and their prices on selling cards a little bit more competitive as well. The other thing I noticed was they always had somebody online, like 24/7. So if you ever had an issue, you could always message somebody, and you could always get your card orders via human or automated bot immediately. So I would highly recommend their services. I've been a very happy customer of theirs, and their website has some other great features, like you can upload your Magic Online collection, and when you go to buy cards, it will tell you if you already own them. So if you want to import a deck, say, that you've seen online, it will quickly say, hey, you only need these 3, 4, 5, 10 cards, whatever it is. So I really like Card Hoarder, and I would encourage all of you guys to use them as well. Okay, so we got a matchup for you guys today. And Jason, what are you going to be playing?
I will be playing Abzan CoCo.
This is a deck that, it's popular now, and I see no reason for it not to continue to be popular in the upcoming meta. What do you think, Jason?
There's no reason for it not to continue to be played. It's not going to lose anything. It's still going to have good matchups against the other decks that are going to gain popularity after Eldrazi goes away. So, yeah. I mean, it was popular before the Eldrazi deck really took off.
Yeah, I think the same thing. And on my end, I'm going to be playing Resto Kiki mid-range. Now, I'm not exactly sure when we're going to be posting this video. I can tell you guys that it's Friday, March 4th. And coming up on Sunday, which by the time you're seeing this is probably going to be in the past, I'm going to be posting some of my sort of first couple of 2 or 3 2-mans that I did with this Resto Kiki mid-range list. Let me show it to you guys. And Jason, you won't be able to see this, but everybody else will. So this is essentially the deck, and the idea behind it is it's a mid-range deck that can play a controlling. It can do sort of it has a lot of controlling elements as far as creatures go, but then whereas, say, some of the control decks, the pure Jeskai control decks, aren't proactive, this deck can also be proactive by actually playing creatures that can kill the opponent. But the other thing is, it also just has a lot of built-in value. Almost every card in the deck is a 2-for-1 in some capacity. Your Blade Splicer is just a natural 2-for-1. You get 2 bodies for 1 P, and Kieran is, you could almost say a 3-for-1. And Wall of Omens is essentially a 2-for-1 in that it replaces itself and you get a body. Snapcaster Mage does 2-for-1 work. Electrolyze can as well. But then you have like Restoration Angel, which just gains, with all of these creatures already being natural 2-for-1s, and then getting extra value from blinking them. The deck can really go very wide, generate a tremendous amount of value. You don't need to worry so much about running Sphinx's Revelation, because basically every time that you're blinking something, you're just building incremental value. And the other thing is, it has the Kiki Jiki infinite damage combo, just like the Kiki control decks do. But this deck is also much better positioned to just take advantage of Kiki Jiki in general. And the other nice thing that it has is it doesn't have Sphinx's Revelation or anything, but it has Revel Arc. So you can even put a Revel Arc in play, and if your opponent has to deal with that, you can not only bring back Kiki Jiki, you could bring back Kiki Jiki and Blade Splicer, or any number of combinations of creatures you have to just sort of keep that value train rolling. And I don't know necessarily how this deck is going to be positioned or how good it is or isn't going to be, but it's definitely something that I want to try. There's just a ton of obvious synergy here. And some of the other things I noticed, and if you watch my game against Lander Control, it's kind of interesting that the deck can actually get enough stuff on get some certain things on the board that allow it to win without attacking. So you can actually like flashback Snapcaster Mages, or rather replay Snapcaster Mage with Kiki Jiki and flashback burn spells and kill your Lantern opponent, even though you can't attack through Ensnaring Bridge. So kind of a lot of cool stuff. The sideboard, usually this deck I would run 2 Supreme Verdicts, but that's really a concession to Eldrazi. Assuming that deck goes away and there's going to be more decks like potentially Elves and this Abzan Company deck, and then maybe even a lot of value decks like Kiki Chord, and then maybe even Merfolk and Affinity, just all the normal small creature decks. Zoo, Anger of the Gods might just be better than Supreme Verdict. We also have another copy of Kiki Jiki in the side. This is something that I don't know is correct. It might be correct to just have 2 Kiki Jiki in the main and then 1 in the side for the decks that you really want to combo against. Have some Graveyard Hate. Just some various other good sideboard cards. Dispels and Negates and Clicks for combo decks. Stony Silence, Wear Tears, Affinity, stuff like that. Pretty standard stuff. So that's being said, do you have anything else that you need to cover, Jason?
No. I will say that my Abzan Company list is pretty stock, and there's nothing out of the ordinary in it.
Cool. Well, then let's get to some games and see how this works out. It's been a long time since I've done a versus video, and I'm excited to do this for you guys.
All right. So I won the die roll. All right. What do we got here? All right. This hand is definitely keepable and playable. So we will keep. It's not the best hand, but it's good.
This hand is obviously completely unkeepable. We have 1 land. I should have mentioned, this is something I didn't do. I was thinking about trading this out or just adding another Ghost Quarter, which I didn't do, which would be useful considering that he has probably Gavany Township. But you know what? We'll just run the list as it is. We can always make changes in future videos. So I'm going to mulligan this, obviously, because it's unkeepable. This hand, it's okay. It's a little top-heavy, but we do have this. So we're going to go with it. Hopefully we'll draw... I don't think actually we do want to draw that, because we're going to cantrip with this. Yeah, I think we just put that on the bottom and hope we draw some kind of interaction.
Okay. We will lead off with, since we have this already, we're going to lead off with this and fetch after. We'll ship the turn back.
So we'll lead here, and let's see. This will probably just get actually a Sacred Foundry. The outside of red, the mana requirements in the deck are pretty easy. We more or less only ever need 1 white source in play and 1 blue source.
Yep. So we are just going to get a Temple Garden off of our Catacombs. Not paying 2. That's an interesting draw. It's actually...
probably Voice Resurgence.
It's pretty good for us. It is sadly not Voice, but it's still good nonetheless. We don't really need to play this yet. We can just lead with this one and play this guy.
Cool. I'm not even sure that list actually was running Voice.
It has 2. There is 2 in my deck. That's for the viewers.
Okay, so we'll just do as planned to get the Sacred Foundry. Just play an island. And play our Defender.
Yes, Battle of Defenders.
I see your Defender with my Defender.
Yeah, that's a good draw, too. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to play this land, and we're going to fetch.
We're going to F6. Nothing for us to do here.
We are going to get another Temple Garden and take some damage for it.
I feel like there's a Collected Company incoming.
Yeah. So we're going to add mana with Wall of Roots. And cast our CoCo. All right. So what we want off of this is essentially right now we're just trying to find combo pieces if possible, which we found some. Now we currently have both of these in our hands. I'll show everybody what I found. I'll move the screen down so everybody can kind of see what's there. Yeah, we don't want this top one at all. It's these other four that we kind of have to choose from. We definitely want one of these. And I feel like, since we have one of these already, I feel like we want to get these two. Although this is quite good. Actually, since we have this card in our hand, I think we're going to go with these two because we can always use this to get the other piece we need.
On our end, this is obviously really unfortunate. We just don't have, our opponent doesn't know this, Jason. Yeah. But we don't really have any real way to interact if he does, get the combo in play quickly. And that's not a function of the deck necessarily itself. It's just really more of a function of we just don't have it in our hand, and we're kind of getting, we're mildly flooded, and we're not really flooded. We've just drawn a couple of lands, and then drawing this as another copy of this wasn't necessarily the greatest. But
I just missed the kill there. I just realized I could have done it already.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I forgot. Well, no, I used Wall of Roots this turn, so yeah. I could have done it on your turn potentially, but I'd rather take the safe line anyway.
That would have been useful. Okay, so the only thing that we can really effectively do is try to, as slow as it is, this is our only piece of interaction right now. So we're essentially trying to get here and then get to a point where we can start getting some value out of this, maybe using the tokens as removal. It's a very slow plan, but it's the only plan that we have. So we'll play this like this and then pass back.
Okay. That one's good. So we're going to play this. We are going to play this.
Why don't you go quarter? It's a little scarier for obvious reasons.
All right, so let's see. We have this 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So we tap all of our guys. That's 4, 5, 6. We only need to go to 5. That would leave 2 open. So if he has Mana Leak, we don't get to resolve it. If that's the case, I feel like casting it on our opponent's upkeep is likely the better way to go about this. So what we are going to do instead is normally here I'd want to use Wall of Roots just to play this card in our hand. Unfortunately, I don't want to drop Wall of Roots to a 0/3 and then have it just get bolted. And then we lose like one of the best sources for mana for this other card in our hand. So we will just use our regular mana and play this guy. Now, we can attack with these because we still have the 5 mana we need to cast this other card during his upkeep.
So I'm actually, in some ways, kind of glad that he didn't attack just with the Things, only because then our wall gets to live.
Yeah, it's true. Now, I can do it during his upkeep if I want. The only thing is I do have this Voice Research on the table, so if he can react to it, I will get a token. I have a bunch of guys on the table, so that's pretty good too. So I think I might actually just go for this here. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to try it and see if we can get it. 1, 2, and then convoke cost.
So this is obviously problematic. He can go infinite here, and we have a dispel for this chord, which I think we're just going to have to fire off. The nice thing is, well, here's the thing: if he doesn't necessarily know what we're playing, but if he gets a Melira and he gains, you can't gain infinite life on Moto, but even if he gains a ton of life, we're actually playing a deck that potentially doesn't care. Yep. Because we can also go infinite. And that's a very real consideration. Whereas if we give him this absolutely gigantic monster, we may have more. We might have trouble dealing with that without a Path to Exile. So this is clearly like a difficult decision here. The other downside to Melira is giving him Melira is that he gets. A lot of scries. He can basically just start scrying through his deck until he finds whatever it is he wants to find.
Yep.
I'm not sure what he'd go for. What are your thoughts, Jason? Do you think it's correct?
I think
it's a difficult decision here.
Yeah, it is. I feel like if you counter it and give me the token, depending if you, because you said already that your hand isn't super interactive with my creatures on the board. If that's the case, then giving me an enormous monster is probably not the best for you. Because that's likely just to kill you quicker than actually just giving me, like, yeah, I gain infinite life, but you know that you have the ability to play through that later. Yeah, it's really tough, I think. Like, I think if you have the answer to voice, or you think you can find it relatively quickly, not the answer to voice, but the token, then you just counter this. If you don't feel like you can find it, then,
Well, really, what's going to be probably more of an issue, your Gavany Township's going to be quite problematic.
Yeah.
He has one card in hand. We have a Kiki Jiki in hand. He doesn't know that. But if we are able to find a Restoration Angel, then we really don't care. And we may just be able to survive long enough with this combination of cards here. Oh, actually, no. It's important to remember this does not work with this. So, it doesn't have trample, though. And what this plus this gives us is an ability to make, assuming this stays on the battlefield, it gives us the ability to make an infinite blocker by copying an artifact token for his giant monster. Man, I can't figure out what to do here.
It's pretty much a coin flip. Now, if I was you and I had Kiki Jiki in my hand, I'm more likely to let this resolve, because then all you have to do is find Restoration Angel. Now, if I did not have the Kiki Jiki in hand, knowing that you only have one in your main deck, I would probably counter.
That's what I'm gonna. That's what I was leaning to. I'm just really, really unsure.
Yep.
But that's what we decided to pass priority and let him resolve this after a ton of deliberation.
Yep. Okay. So I'm just gonna get a Melira, and we're just gonna start this chain because I have no reason not to.
Yeah, I'm gonna have 6 on our end here.
Yep. We don't want that.
The other option here is if I think that I can live until I can find a Restoration Angel, then it's possible that we get to a point where we have enough mana so that even if he has a removal spell in his hand, we can Kiki Jiki with like a Dispel up and just protect our combo and win that way. Our opponent probably doesn't exactly... Our opponent, he sees Wall, he sees Jeskai, he's probably going to put us on Kiki control. So the other thing is he may decide to just keep scrying until he finds like a piece of interaction or something. Can't remember exactly what's in that list, but clearly he has a lot of options available to him.
And we're just going to put this guy on the... yeah, this one's fine. For now. I mean, we can always... If we want to draw something else, we can always like do it on his turn, because it's not on our own that it takes place, that it has to take place. Like, we can sack any time. So we feel like we need to change it up, we can.
So I think we just play this out.
Okay.
the one actually where we may be dead, and actually where we may have decided the mistake I think we may have made, and one reason we may have wanted a chord, and I don't know what our opponent did, but I think, and I'm just now kind of realizing this, but at the point where his board is, he could just scry until he hits Murderous Redcap, assuming that it has that in main, and then just play it and we die.
Yep. Well, we do have it main, and it's sitting on top of our library right now. But what I just realized is that we actually don't have the proper mana to cast it. We do not have double black.
Yeah.
Yep. So what we're going to do here at the end step is we're going to sack the Sphinx. And it actually does not... Since our opponent's tapped out, it does not matter what we find on top as long as we put this on the bottom. That's all that matters. Because we're going to untap.
And so, had I thought about that, the correct thing to do was actually dispel the chord. So just kind of a note, if they're able to put together an infinite life combo and you're like, I don't care, I can do infinite damage, just remember that actually you can just then die to infinite damage because they can scry until they find Murderous Redcap. So,
yep.
Which looks like it's just happening.
Yep. Infinite damage.
Okay, so obviously we could have prevented this with a dispel.
Yeah. Yep. It's really rough because so I don't have the double black on the table, so I would have to take a turn. If I did not have this other chord in my hand, I would have had to take another turn to find the chord. It's probably correct just to have dispelled the first chord. And then I would have to use my second chord to find the Kitchen Finks.
Yeah, no, I think so. And I mean, that's part of why we're doing this, right? This is, it's education for us, but it's also, education for you guys. So,
yeah.
Okay, well then let's
move on to the sideboard games.
No, let's do. I was gonna think we do like couple main board
game ones. Okay, that's fine with me.
3 sideboards. So I'm just gonna submit what we have here.
Okay. Yep, sounds good.
And then I will be on the play.
Okay.
It's kind of Normally I wouldn't want to keep this, but here's the thing. We have this into this, which gets us another draw, and if we draw any land, then we can also cast this. We're pretty far off from this, unfortunately, but I think it's worth keeping here.
Okay. So our hand is very bad on the draw. We have no accelerants, and a couple chords in our hand with some sort of mediocre-ish creatures for what we really want. We like these creatures, but we don't want them without accelerants or anything to really catapult us to what we're doing. So we're just going to mulligan.
And I'm going to say we also have this, which is obviously something we want here.
Yeah, this hand is much better. We have this card, which is an all-star here. And we have this and this already. So we are going to keep, and we get to scry. That is something we do want, so we're just going to put that right on top.
And we'll pass back.
Yep, awesome. All right, so we're just going to lead off with this. No, and pass to him.
Okay, so we really want to hit a land here. And we did, which is great.
All right, so this is where we play one of our best cards against his deck. So we're going to play this and take 2.
So we could just do this. I don't think we need to accelerate him, especially since we're going to go just right into this. Let's see what our draw is here. Yeah, I think I really think that's fine. I think we could actually probably just get a mountain, and that's... Let me see, because we have a blue, white, double white. Yeah, I think that's probably fine. And the other thing is he already normally couldn't attack through our wall with a voice, which is nice, but he can't even attack with it into this golem here. This allows us to develop our board, and then if we want to clean this up after the fact, we can do that while applying pressure.
So our opponent played Blade Splicer instead of casting any sort of like removal spell on our voice. So he either does not have the path, or he recognizes that I can't do anything against his board presence with my voice currently, and is saving path for something else. So because of that, I think what we do is we play this, and then we just cast this guy. And then we pass back. We don't mind losing this. We don't necessarily want to lose it, but we don't mind losing it.
So now we have an interesting decision to make here. I think our opponent is on path. I don't think that deck really... I don't think Abzan Company runs hardly any main deck.
Almost never has
right.
any. Yep.
Which kind of makes me think that for now, I sort of just want to do this. The real question is, do I blink this or this? Because if we do this and we draw another land, then this is really great. But this also just makes our board really problematic for him. The other option is we do neither, and we do this here, which does accelerate him, but really kind of sets him back too. I think that's probably superior.
Okay. We will gladly take a land. We will have access to double green off of Windswept Heath. We'll just get our basic swamp.
Now
get
we
our
can
double back early.
Now we can go ahead and attack in here, start pressuring his life total, and we have this end of turn if needed.
So yeah, we're gonna fetch here. We are going to get another Temple Garden. And we're just going to untap. Awesome. I probably should have gotten a basic forest now that I think about it, but it's okay. It's not terrible for us. I guess if I cast this, I can get that out of our graveyard. Play it. Yeah, okay. So that'll work too. So we're just going to cast this.
It's kind of annoying, but I think we have a lot of... Oh, okay. I thought I was going to on-defensa. Maybe play another voice here.
We're going to get this. Now we're just going to pass.
Yeah, and we're just going to end of turn bolt that. Does not matter what red source we get. Yeah, I think we just attack here with this guy.
Yep, which we will just eat.
And I think we actually just do this now. Like let's see, he's an Eternal Wind. I don't think that we can die to the combo next turn. I could be wrong, but it may be that we don't even have to do this turn. And the other, yeah, like I don't know that he doesn't play removal, and I want to make sure I get my value. The other thing is if we could have, like he's not really going to attack anyway, so it's because we have this wall, so I don't think that it was necessarily incentivized to try to surprise him. But
yeah, so we drew probably what was the best draw for us possible. So that is a thing. All right. This is actually a little bit rough. Still have 2 mana on tap, so we can get this and this. This will get back one of these. We'll have this in play. Yeah, I think that's our game plan. We're at 9 though, so we are gonna have to block somewhere. And if he's got like Snapcaster Bolt, there might be an issue there, but we'll figure it out.
And I didn't mention it, but that was actually one of the thinking points behind my decision to go ahead and blink, is that he doesn't have much in the way of a board developed, and because he is at 9, we're just in these 3 creatures here, we're representing a lethal attack, so he's going to be forced to do some kind of attacking. Some of our creatures are first strike, and one of them flies. So,
if we do this and this, we can get back this, and then cast her and have protection, actually. Because we have this turn after to be able to find the other piece. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go with this, one of these, put these all on the bottom, get back one of these guys. Spellskite is also a very good blocker for the golems currently. And we will pass the turn.
Now, the other argument, and we'll see what we draw here, but the other argument for blinking Wall, which I did mention briefly, was to try to draw another land for this. Because obviously right now, and that might have been the better thing to do, just we didn't know that he was going to completely tap out, but let's just see what we draw here. So that actually sort of takes care of it.
Uh-oh, I feel like it's our turn to get comboed now. Yep.
So now
there
we can
it
just
is.
infinite damage him with Restoration Angel. There's not really a point to do anything else.
Yep. I'll be that guy that says, I do this. Do you concede now? No? You know how it works? Okay.
Okay, I do.
Yeah. That's fine. Okay, we'll concede now.
Blink our Kiki Jiki. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
I will say, as far as versus videos goes, it's kind of like you can't ask to get comboed and then recombo.
Yeah.
So let me talk a bit about how I'm gonna sideboard, and unfortunately, I'll try to work this out so that we can do some kind of screen sharing so that I can maybe flip over and Jason can show. But unfortunately for now, he'll sort of have to talk about it audibly. Okay, so what is available to us as potential options? Pithing Needle is interesting because Pithing Needle has the potential to name his combo piece, and he might not have a good way to interact with it, and that we can name Visceraseer. Explosives is probably completely reasonable because he runs a lot of things that cost 2, or even 1 if he gets like multiple birds out. So these are reasonable considerations. Anger of the Gods is another reasonable consideration, along with this spell, and then these Relic of Progenitus. Even Vendilion Click, because it flies, is something that we can think about, and he kind of is a combo deck, and it is a disruptive card. The thing is, though, that puts us up to 69 cards here, and we don't have that much that I think is bad to take out. One thing we can consider is that the leaks are probably just flat out better on the play than they are on the draw. Let's see. It's kind of funny because against his deck, like, we won all the removal, but then even like, let's see. He's probably going to bring in some interaction. So here's what we can do. If we're gonna bring in these angers, then we can cut a couple of Blade Splicers. I mean, the Blade Splicers are, I think, good because all his creatures are small, and 3 first strike is reasonable. But we still need to cut 3 more cards, and we're kind of running low on sideboard time here. Like, I think Relic is good, but I don't think that it's necessarily better than these. In fact, I think we might even be able to cut this here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to cut these, and I'm going to go with this and this. Go ahead, Jason.
All right, so we are bringing in Fulminator Mages, Linvala, Archangel of Thune, and Spike Feeder, and a Path to Exile. The path is just to have an interaction against the combo against the Kiki Jiki combo. Same with Linvala.
I need to submit, just FYI.
Yeah, I submitted, so we're good there. The Fulminator Mages are especially good against the blue-red mana base, usually. Hampering their mana can really just lead to you winning the game. Also, we can rebuy them. You know, so it's not terrible. And the reason to bring in the Archangel of Thune and Spike Feeder combo is just to have another combo that is not affected by Graveyard Hate, which most people bring in post-sideboard. So, you know, bringing in the Archangel and the Spike Feeder are real easy swaps for just two of the other combo pieces.
The other thing I was going to say is I feel like, you know, the ultimate question is always who's the beatdown, and I get the sense that we're better positioned to because of the kind of cards we can bring in. Like, he can do all of this work to assemble the board, and we have access to things like Anger the Gods or Engineered Explosives, things that can really just sort of all in one card wipe away all the advantage that he's built. And we also have, just in general, we have a lot more interactive pieces of our that are just inherently part of our deck, like Bolt and Helix and Path and Electrolyze. So because of all of that, I think that we're just set up to probably take the controlling route.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I'm just looking at my opening hand. So this is not the best opening hand. This card in particular, you usually do not want your opener. This is something you want to get to in the mid game. So it's kind of like a mulligan to 6, but if looking at this hand, if I mulligan to these other 6 cards in my hand, I would be perfectly okay keeping that 6. So there's no reason to not keep this and happen to mulligan into like 1 land and 5 cards that we, you know, and then have to go to 5. So we're just going to keep on the play.
I think our hand is more or less what we're looking for. And I think we're sort of looking to do this around turn 3 or 4, and then do something, you know, proactive. So we'll keep.
All right. So we are going to lead off with this untapped into this guy and pray for no lightning bolt.
Well, because we do that, that sort of makes our decision a little easy.
Oh.
It's not that we don't have this. It's just that we don't, you know, it's almost always correct to just bolt the bird.
Yep.
This even gets, the less acceleration he has, the better I think that this gets.
That was a reasonable draw. We're going to play this and pass the turn back.
We're just going to go here. I mean, we did draw this, but I think it's fine to just play the wall.
I'm actually not going to crack this yet. I'm hoping that by leaving the other lands in our deck that we just draw one naturally, because we currently cannot cast this, which we want to. We actually want to cast it this turn if possible. However, we did not get there, so that's a little awkward. We can cast this, though, so that's likely what's going to be our line. We're going to take some damage to do it. But we're already gained some back.
So we could do this, but especially because we just drew this and we have this, and this doesn't actually do anything. It doesn't kill us at this point because of this. I can find to just play this and pass. We're not under any meaningful pressure at this point. So since we have this wall, we'll put the onus on him to find a way to get around it.
So we really want to be able to cast this, but we currently can't. So we can play this to get the mana that we need to be able to cast it the following turn. Unfortunately, our opponent is playing what makes it seem like he has some sort of counterspell, whether it be Remand or Mana Leak. We are unsure to this point because we haven't really seen either one come into play yet. But that's what this feels like, is either Remand or Mana Leak. If it's Remand, it's not the worst. If it's Mana Leak, it's gross. But I feel like we can't really play around that currently. So, because our other options are this, which is not good right now. This, I mean, there's no point in doing that. And we can't do that yet. So this is our line. And it sticks, which is good. Get back our land, make our land drop for the turn. And we're just going to ship it.
So this could technically happen now. But I don't know that it necessarily needs to. And we actually have this that we can play at the end of his turn and then do this and apply pressure while simultaneously doing this. And I think that's probably what we want to do. So I'm going to play this and just pass. This also represents things like Cryptic Command and a lot of things for our opponent to have to consider.
So we're going to get this here. That was reasonable. So we're going to play this. And hope that since he didn't have a counterspell last turn, that he doesn't have one this turn. And it resolves, which is good for us. So out of his mana base, the one that we most... I mean, he has access to all of his colors. And, like, we know... Now that we know that he's a Kiki Jiki deck, like, denying his red is actually much better than denying his white, even though denying the Celestial Colonnade is, like, great. That's normally the land you want to go after. I feel like taking out the Sacred Foundry is actually more important currently. So that's what we're going to do.
So obviously here we're going to do this in response.
Yep. Not unexpected. We will then take the time to play this and pass.
So I think that more or less waiting any longer for this is just getting extremely greedy. So we'll go ahead and just one-sided wrath here.
The cleanup crew.
And then go ahead and punch in with Restoration Angel. And our opponent's at 10, which is not irrelevant.
Yep, we are currently on a 4-turn clock, more likely a 3-turn clock because of a bolt. So we drew our land. Now we could cast this, but he's on 5 cards, and he has 1 mana open, so that just screams Path of Exile to me. So just casting this seems pretty bad. We can cast this, and then if he wants to kill it, we can do this and get something out of it at least. So otherwise we do this now and get a 2-drop. Unfortunately, a 2-drop. What 2-drop would we even go for right now? A Voice of Resurgence, but it's either Voice or Spellskite. Most likely Spell Skite, just because we can then protect the other parts that are in our hand. Again, he has a blue open, though, and we know he has Dispel. So if we go for this and there's Dispel, we get blown out there. So we have two ways of getting blown out.
I like it.
Yep. So my cat decided to be loud. We're just going to go for this one and hope that he doesn't have it. Because I feel like if he doesn't have it, this is going to result in something better for us, which he doesn't have it. So we are actually going. That voice would be great, but we're just going to grab a Spell Skite.
We don't know what else our opponent is on. That's not particularly threatening at the moment, and what we could actually do is just fire this out on 2, which kind of has the potential to protect us from a combo kill. But our opponent's on 2 cards, so even if he had like 2 chords, he's still not going to be able to put the combo together with that. We can assume that maybe one is Collected Company. Our opponent doesn't know this, but we don't have a really good way to interact with that right now anyway. Let's see. This adds a little bit more power. Not a ton, though. It might just be correct to just do this on 2 and then play this. That kind of allows us to do something complete with our turn, but I don't actually know that that this is what we want. I'm really you know, I don't like the idea of necessarily playing it blind. So maybe what we could do is just go ahead and play this out.
Okay.
And then we're going to attack him down to, let's see, 6. And then next turn we can attack with this and this. So it kind of just has like a 1-turn window here, I think. Actually, we're going to play this in case we want to fire this off. He doesn't make blue, so he has to pay 2 life. Oh, shit. All right, well, he should
be at 3.
Yeah,
I should be at 6. We'll play like I'm at 6.
Should be at 6. Kind of just click too many times.
Well, that's an interesting draw, because I was just going to cast this. But since we have this, we know that he didn't counter our Court of Calling, and he hasn't countered anything before that. So it feels like he doesn't have the sort of blue pieces of interaction for our stuff. So playing this lets us put 2 bodies on the table, potentially. Playing this gives us the flyer that we're looking for. However, if he has the path, we have to pay 2 life, so we'll go from our virtual 6 to our 4. So we'll be at a virtual 4 life. Blocking is okay, but if he has a Snapcaster to go along with that path, then we just lose the game on the spot. Whereas if we cast this, we may not find anything to, we're not going to find anything to block the flyer. However, if we do find 2 creatures that can, just block the rest of these guys for like 2 turns, he might live. However, if he has Lightning Bolt in there, then that also goes out the window. So we're kind of not really screwed, but I have a feeling this one's actually the better line. Even though because of the Horizon Canopy, we're actually going to be at virtual 5, which is actually much scarier. But I think that's what we're going to go with. And just hope that he does not have the answer. This also lets us use all of our mana this turn.
So that was a pretty fantastic draw from our opponent. Let's see.
Yep. Now we are playing like I am at 5, so.
Okay, so let's assume that our opponent is, if we do this here, then let's say he redirects because it's less damage. Then he goes to 3. And then we can draw a snap. We can even attempt to like activate this. But if we just untap then and attack with everything, his gaining 3, let's say he'll go to 5, so he'll be at 3, so he's effectively at 6, and he can block this, and he can block this. Rather, no, he would probably... Actually, that might just be enough to kill him anyway. Let me do the math one more time. So we helix him if he's at 5. He redirects to Spellskite and goes from 5 to 2. He goes to 3.
Yep.
We untap. We activate Colonnade. So the most damage that he's at effectively 6 because of life gain, and the most damage that he can absorb is he can block a Golem token and he can block a Colonnade, which means that he just takes 3. Yeah, so I think that's lethal. No. Because then we would just basically put him at 2, because he's gonna block. In fact, in that case, he may just opt to block the Restoration Angel. Conversely, if we do that and we draw like a bolt. Well, actually, if we were to draw a bolt, then we could... Did I do that math right? Yeah. Because he blocks... The most he can block is Archangel blocks Colonnade, which absorbs 4. Spellskite blocks Golem. And then Restoration Angel, Blade Splicer is 4 damage. They get in, and he's put to 2. So I don't think that that's particularly the correct line. So I'm not going to shock here. Let's see what our draw step is. I think what we probably actually do is go in with this and then do this on this and do this. I think that's probably the right thing to do.
Okay, so we're going to move the blocks. We're going to block here and block here. So I want to keep all 5 of my life, so I have the ability to redirect the Spellskite.
Could have actually... There was actually no reason not... There was probably no reason not to block with the Blade Splicer.
Not to, attack with it.
I mean, not to attack with it, yeah. Okay, so then we do this, which it technically knocks this out, but we don't really care. Let's see. Make sure, yeah.
So I'm at 8 currently. Okay. So an EE. Popping EE. Yep. And then Helix to take out Archangel. Alright. Luckily, we're still at a virtual. We're at 8 right now. We drew that, which is good.
I don't know if there was... Sorry, I don't know if there was a way to do that more inefficiently so you gained less life. I don't think so.
No, I'm going to gain 3 regardless of how you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could have played EE before you attacked and blown up my Spellskite.
Yeah,
then your Golem would have gotten through.
That would have totally been more intelligent.
So what we're going to do here, we're just going to...
I was thinking that there was some reason I needed to surprise you, but there really wasn't.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to use all of our mana, even though this deals us and puts us to 7, which is scary. Because, honestly, what's going to get us out of this is just hitting the combo off of this. Like, that's what we're looking for at this point.
Are we still assuming you're at a virtual 3 less?
Yes.
From our missed resto attack?
Yeah.
My missed resto attack? I really can't pull you into that blame.
Yep. So am I currently at 7? What do we have
Which
here?
would mean Celestial Colonnade and Restoration is lethal.
Yeah. Well, we don't need this because we have this on the board. However, what we're going to do is get this because it's a combo piece, and this guy because this stops Celestial Colonnade. And then we are going to pass.
This is unfortunate.
Yeah, pass.
That was pretty good. So if he's effectively at 7, then I think we actually just attack here and attack here. Sit on this. There's like not a big reason to make the giant mana investment into it.
All right, so he's going to attack. We're going to take the easy block with this here. So blockers are fine. Obviously, before damage, we are going to use it, and we're going to take this out because we don't want him to have it to activate next turn.
So the one thing is, do we want to do this? Let's see. This would be blue, red, this. Activate. I don't think so. I think we're really probably more content to just sit on this and then one of these options right now. So we could float, but it's kind of pointless. There's no reason to. We're not going to do anything with it. And then make our opponent sad. And
so we are at 4. Womp. Yeah. Basically going for broke on this draw. Nope. Unfortunately not. Well, we're not going to concede because he doesn't know what we're on. So, even though I kind of gave it away.
Well, let me see here.
I don't think you would play any differently because I'm holding a card in my hand.
So we could do this. Yeah, he's got one card, and we can do this. Which, if he's effectively at 4, it does. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, that means that all of our attacks are just 100% without question lethal.
Ew. Yep. This is gross.
That means no matter what his card is, there's no way he can get out of it.
Yep.
I think.
I have one way, depending on if this was...
I guess if it's a collected company, that's something to consider, but...
Yeah. So I go to a virtual 1. And the only way this would get me out of it is if it was collected company or the other one.
We could do this, but I think we'll just try to do this here.
Yeah, if this was collected company or cord.
Actually, let's see. Yeah, let me see. If he's on collected, let's see. How would we really play this? If we really thought, okay, what could he be on? What could he hit collected company? What would that mean for us? Let's say he hit collected company and like managed to hit 2 kitchen finks. Then he goes up to 4. Well, let's see. He's effectively at 1 right now. Remember, so then he would go up to. He'd gain 4 life. He'd go to 5. Yep. Then he can do a block and gain more. So it depends on what we think he has. If he has collected company and he hits well, then if we completely tap out, suddenly we're not representing lethal here.
It's also if I hit a kitchen finks, I have the combo on table. I have the other 2 pieces.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so because if he has like a collected company, we don't want to get comboed. So I think we don't activate Colonnade here, and we just see kind of how he responds. And I think we attack with. I mean, he's. I don't think we want to attack. We don't attack with Snapcaster Mage for this reason here. I mean, we just attack like this because he's gonna have to do something.
Yeah, if I don't do anything here, I'm just dead. Which unfortunately I can't do what I need to do to not be dead because I'm just sitting on a land in hand. However, if I have Collected Company or if I have Court of Calling, Collected Company I have to try and hit Kitchen Finks off of. Court of Calling I can actually cord for. I can only cord for 3 because I can't tap Horizon Canopy because I'm at 1. So I can cord for 3 and get the combo piece.
The thing I keep forgetting, and I know viewers, this is probably confusing, so I do apologize. But I do think it's more fair to assume that he's at 1,
Yeah.
than to just make ourselves stick with a keyboard error.
Yeah.
So that means that restoration is just lethal. So he's kind of forced to do something.
Yeah.
Looking at the number, I was thinking that I needed to do more than I did, but he's technically at 1.
Yep, I'm at 1. So this is just lethal. I would need Chord or Collective Company to even survive.
And what you can't see, Jason, is that we have a Restoration Angel in hand. Yeah. So if he does respond in some way, then what we do is we just Restoration, bounce Snapcaster Mage, and bolt him in response.
Yep, so. And I die that way. Yep, so concede. And so I'm bringing in the Fulminators again, the Spike Feeder and the Archangel. Actually, I think I'm going to take the Spike Feeder. I'm not going to board them in. We didn't see much in the way of graveyard interaction out of him. And I actually kind of want our own piece of graveyard interaction, so I'm going to bring in this Scavenging Ooze to mess with his Snapcasters a little bit. Also just going to bring in the extra path that I didn't bring in last time. So to cut for this, we're taking out... there's a Liliana, Heretical Hero, a Fiend Hunter, and even Mindcessor in our deck. We don't need any of those one-ofs, particularly against him. So we can cut those. After that, we have to look at cutting other places. I am fine cutting a single Spellskite. Like, he has removal to interact with our combo. But I feel like we can find more combo pieces with relative ease is what we've seen so far. So we'll cut that. And then we have to cut 3 more cards. So
I don't know if they can see your screen. Probably not.
They can't. That's why I'm saying what I'm cutting.
Oh, okay,
yep. Yeah.
I was in my own little world over here.
Let's cut 3 more cards. These are the tough decisions. Wall of Roots is too good to cut. I think we cut 1 Birds. And then after that we cut a Singleton Chord. And likely another bird. Actually, we'll make that a Hierarch, not a bird, because a bird gives us double black if we ever need it. Submit like that.
All right, so I think we're boarding similarly to what we did last time. Obviously Jason doesn't hear us say this. He doesn't know this for the purposes of his gameplay decisions. But the reason I'm kind of taking out these leaks is because I really feel like the matchup is much more about managing his board. And, the thing about, and I'm going to go ahead and submit this the way we have it. The thing about removal spells is if you have them in your hand when he plays the creature, they deal with the creature. If you draw it after he's played a creature, they deal with the creature. The permission like mana leaks are not like that. It only works if we have it, and if we draw it later, it doesn't really help us manage his board, which is a lot of what this game is about. So I think taking out like the mana leaks for actual removal board management spells is probably just better. Okay, so you're on the play, so I'll say no.
Okay. Seems a little awkward. We have this and this, which is nice. These, like, this is cool to build up to, but it doesn't really do... This is probably an improper card to board in, actually. Have this. Yeah, I have a feeling we have to mulligan this. Unfortunately. It's just a little too light on early things to be doing. And this is exactly the type of hand we want, so...
Our hand's just really too slow. Like, not being able to do anything till turn 3 against a deck like his means that he really has the ability to go like turn 1 birds, just sort of accelerate into everything he wants to do, and there's not a say that we can't do anything about it. So I think we want to mulligan as well. This has some relevant spells. Unfortunately, we do this again, but this hand is worse. So we're kind of forced to mulligan again. This is reasonable. We're probably going to end up just doing this right away because we may need to cantrip with it. So,
and this is a fine keep on the top. So
we're really kind of leaning on this card because obviously this is going to do nothing. Yeah, I think we still put that on top.
Yeah, our keep on top actually doesn't matter because we're just going to play this and crack it. Get this guy. Hit yes and play this. And pass.
Yeah, so we're just actually going to do this. I'm sure our opponent will be happy. Not necessarily that it's a relic, but happy to see that it's not
happy that it's
not
a bolt.
Exactly.
Oh, that's actually really nice. So we can get this off this turn now. I don't think we can get this. We can play both of these this turn. Doesn't particularly do anything for us. I mean, it gets more on the board, which is good. So I think that's what we're going to go into.
Let's go ahead and activate our relic.
We are going to get one of these.
This is a little less scary when we're sitting on this. That was a pretty good draw, so we'll just. I mean, we can activate the relic now, but obviously we're gonna want to keep one mana open in the event that we need it for the obvious, clearing out all graveyards so that he doesn't combo off with a Kitchen Finks.
Well, we're just not going to play 2. We are going to do this, however.
So I think that our line is relatively obvious.
Yep.
And you know, this card just looks definitely like something in your Jeskai decks you're going to want to be utilizing. We may need this to get the third one of these at some point, so we'll just take 2 here and do this.
Oh man. The blowout card. That was actually a very good draw. So we're going to do this. Just rebuild.
So if he hits at least his graveyard's completely empty, so if he hits like a...
Oh, man. Oh.
A thing. What is the thing that gets stuff back out of the graveyard? Eternal Witness. You know, it's not getting any value out with it.
So...
Actually, go ahead.
This is going to just punish... Hopefully just push him out of the game. Just doing this.
Oh, jeez.
We're going to do it right now because we just don't want him to have another turn with those available. Yeah. That is probably one of the best collected companies we could have asked for.
So I think we're just going to go ahead and probably crack this. Because obviously finding lands is important. It's 1 card in hand, so I think we can actually just get away with playing this right now.
Okay.
And we have these, so we're not actually as awesome as that was on his side and bad for us. We're not doing terrible.
Play this guy. I guess I have to do this first. So this is going to come in. We're going to shoot him for 2.
That makes our decision about where to point this a bit easier. So we'll play this, and then we'll just pass the turn back, and then we'll, at upkeep, go ahead and fire this off.
Oh, we're getting pathed. Yep. Okay. We're going to get a swamp. No, we have double black. We have double white and double green, so it doesn't particularly matter what we grab. So in this case, I'm just going to grab a forest. That particularly wasn't a good draw for the turn. We'll play it anyway.
Sorry, I was just taking a quick look at my deck here.
And we'll pass.
And I think that's perfectly a fine use of, for this. So I think we have another Sacred Foundry in here, which is probably fine. Hollowed Fountain would be fine. We don't have it. This, I don't know. We definitely want to get another red source, and it'll be this one.
Yeah.
Probably actually should have the thing. Well, I will just go. The thing is, this mixes chords and just a lot of stuff. But this is a really good creature, and I was thinking maybe we should have just done this immediately. But at the same time, he is kind of top decking, and it doesn't necessarily do anything. And I'd rather just fire it off here and get this out of the way.
Okay. So it's a tough decision, but I think we're just going to cash in this Wall Roots because our next turn really has to be action. And scrying once with Viscera Seer might not find us action, so I would rather scry twice. I don't think the mana from Wall Roots matters that much anymore. So we're going to nuke this wall. Yeah, we're going to put that on the bottom. And then we'll get rid of the Seer. Put that on the bottom. So getting rid of 2 dead draws is quite good for us there.
It's actually kind of funny that we drew this because, not a joke, I was actually just about to say that, one card we might want to consider cutting actually when we move into these more... The thing is, they're grindy. I don't know, it's tough to say. When we start taking out creatures out of the deck, though, this becomes less good. So does this, clearly, but... it is a consideration.
That's not the best draw either. All right. Well,
we'll probably cycle this if we don't have anything to use it on. Because we need to draw lands and we need to... We still have, a piece of removal here, but...
there's no reason not to just play it, so...
If he plays like a... Yeah, that's what we're... That's actually... We couldn't really ask for a better target for this.
Yeah, we're getting electrolyzed here, unfortunately.
And then that's actually... Yeah, that's totally good. So we'll just... let's see, is there any reason to fetch... I guess not, because we still want to... If we draw another land, then that's fine. That was a good draw.
That's okay. It's not the best because it doesn't get past wall currently.
I still think we do this.
Am I going on another path? I sure am. Alright, we will get this one out of our deck.
And we will fetch... This is fine. Seems kind of weird, but I don't think I do, actually. I think I just play the long game here, but doing this into this, just so that we can then do this in this. He's been sitting on 1 card, though, I think, in his hand for a while, so it's very possible he's just holding, like, Path to Exile or something.
So I think I'm going to wait. No, I haven't played it this far, so we're just not going to play it. We're just going to pass. Alright, so this is where we're going to do this.
Unfortunately, we don't have a reasonable way to interact with that right now.
Well, that's not terrible. I mean, our obvious choices are this and this. And now we have the choice to activate, which is we're going to.
Fun has no cards in hand. So we could obviously do this. and this. But we could actually do this and go like do this here. And then follow it up with this and then maybe even do this. That might be too ridiculous. No, actually we obviously can't do this because he would just in response. So we're on this plan.
All right. So we got our ooze up to where we want it. That's fine. It's essentially just a redraw. Do this with this. That's perfectly acceptable. It's not the best, but it's acceptable. Just attack with use. Get our triggers.
It's kind of unfortunate we're not going to be able to do this on one, but I guess it also depends what we draw here. No, I think... Yeah, I think we just... get rid of the big scary monster.
Yep. Alright, so the end of the turn, since we know he's got EE, we're obviously not going to waste any more creatures out of our graveyard. We're just going to start eating his spells to make his future Snapcasters that much worse. Also lets us use this mana for the turn. I'm targeting the pass first, just so that, like, if I happen to hit another Kitchen Finks...
I mean, we're not doing anything else, and we don't like want to untap and give him access to even more green, so we'll just go and pop this now.
Yeah, and I think after that, Helix and Bolt are annoying, but I think Electrolyze is the better target, because it's the cantrip in the graveyard. We don't want to get to a point where he can just flash it back, kill both of our Noble Hierarchs, and draw a card.
So we need our opponent to just hopefully not draw well.
We drew mediocre. We are going to get frisky with a Hierarch, though.
Understandable. I don't blame you. So we do this, which is good, but I think we just start kind of getting our long game into play here.
Ooh. That's a good one. It's okay, but it's not the best in the position we're in. We don't have any good attacks, so we're just gonna cast this. Off of these, not that it matters. And then we'll pass. We're gonna hold this for if he ever decides to activate a Colonnade.
So we're kind of happy that our opponent let us get to this point. He had no way of knowing. If he had known, he obviously would have done something different, but...
Yeah, if I had suspected the Kiki Jiki, I would have blown up the land.
Now, this is the living the dream part of the deck that I wasn't sure it would actually get to, but it has.
Gross.
So then we just attack with the Hasted Revelark. Actually, why wouldn't I attack with both? No reason not to.
At that point, I get to crack back for 4.
But I'm about to get a wall.
Oh, yeah, you're putting a wall into play, aren't you?
Yeah, that was dumb. There was just no reason not to. And we get another draw step here. Pass.
The value is real. That's interesting. I mean, we have no reason not to bash with it.
So if we're able to copy Revelarks, clearly we don't really care too much about...
To Revelark it back. But
I think we're probably just going to attack with the... We'll attack with the Revelark, and then we don't even really have to do anything with our Kiki Jiki as of yet.
Now he's going to hold for the Blade Splicer copy.
Yeah, well, we can
go that long game.
Right.
And
this priest protection is pretty relevant.
Well, that's actually a good draw. So we're going to go with this.
Sure.
Let's see. Yeah, so we're just going to pass the turn. I don't necessarily like just passing, but I feel like we have to.
So we don't really have anything to get out of the graveyard. So for now, I'm going to just go ahead and make a copy of this. I'll play this here, and then let's see. I think we just do this. And attack with the Revelarks and the Golems and this Hasted Blade Splicer.
Alright, so this is a lot of damage to block. We're at 11. So if we move the blocks, we can block the Fulminator on a Golem. Birds can block a Revelark. Spellskite can block a Golem. That'll leave us taking 4, 5 total points of damage this turn, which is reasonable. It's not the end of the world.
I'm not saying we go back, but I should have attacked with that Revelark that other turn. We're not going to go back like we did with the Resto, though, because too many decision points have been made, assuming he's at 11. But just for the viewers.
So I block like this. Okay. So now what I do is I do this. Two. So we're doing it for 3. Ah, no fun was had today.
Get out of here with that business.
So we're just going to go ahead and nuke this, since that's going to die anyway.
Is there anything that... No, it happens.
So we're going to 6.
And I don't actually... Well, we don't have another blue source, but I don't think we need to do anything. I think he's at 0 cards. We're probably just fine. God, the value is just... And there's only... This is just one wall of them. If there was like another Blade Splicer in there, oh my gosh.
Yep. Good draw. Okay, well, that is a good draw. So we're gonna go this, and then this.
That is a good draw.
What can we possibly
Where's
do
our other
here?
blue source? No. Too bad we can have...
Oh
well.
It's so... Because we have to get... Okay, so we have to hit really well on a lot of things. So we have to get Collected Company. That's the first thing. Yes. Now we're going to cast Collected Company. Hope to not get blown out by another Dispel.
So annoying right now. Not the Galactic Company, but...
Unfortunately, we did not hit correctly. We got guys, but they're not the guys we needed. What we really needed to hit there was like a combo piece and another Eternal Witness to get back Quarter Calling And then even then, I don't think that would have done it. So we're just dead, unfortunately. The Revelark value is too real.
Kiki Jiki, Revelark, look, so many things to copy. And it's interesting too, like depending upon what dies, like it might just be correct to copy the Revelark and then like bring back Wall and Blade Splicer. Like maybe I was actually some of those instances supposed to just tack with Blade Splicer and let you block, knowing that I could copy Revelark and bring it back. Alright.
So I'm trying to figure out if there's anything I want to change in my sideboard. My sideboard strategy here. Man, we haven't been seeing the paths at all, which would have helped. I don't know that there's anything I still want to change. I still think the Archangel Spike Feeder combo is still too fragile against his deck. He just has too much removal to deal with it.
That's probably correct.
Yeah, we'll just stick to the combos that we're using currently. Oh, we want this.
What was that one card you said you think it might be incorrect to board in? Maybe you want to take that out?
Yep, that's what I'm doing. I'm switching. It was Linvala. I had it in there just because it stops the Kiki shenanigans, but you only have one in the main. Like, yeah, you may be boarding in your second one, but you know, I brought in my paths to deal with it specifically anyway. And this lets me bring in this card, which I will put on the bottom of the screen so people can actually see it, which is not having that in there earlier might have actually, if I had it, I might not have actually been blown out as bad as I was.
Linvala doesn't seem
she's not terrible. She's not great.
I'm not trying to really combo kill you though.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is, like, if you think I'm trying to combo kill you, can always potentially chord forward at some point, and then if I go for it, do that. But I don't think we're gonna change anything. I think, you know, the one thing is, I'm wondering if this is just too, and I guess I can ask you, Jason, do you think Pia and Kira Nalaar is too clunky against you?
It's a 4-drop that doesn't interact with me in some way, or it's you have to tap out to play it on 4 mana. And when you tap out, it gives me the window, because that's around that time is when my window is to play that I want to be playing like Collected Company or Chord anyway. That's how I feel.
It just doesn't. Maybe I'm wrong. The thing is, if I do untap it, obviously it can give me a lot of value.
Yeah.
But I almost wonder if maybe if I just want a negate. Like, I'm really not too crazy on the counter magic, but his Collected Companies and Chords are really good.
Yeah.
We're gonna try that. We'll just give this a shot. Make that one change. Like I said, I'm not too thrilled with counters when I want to manage the board, and negate specifically doesn't hit.
Well, we are immediately
creatures,
shipping this back.
We're going to keep this.
And we have to ship again. It's our turn to mold a 5. This is exactly the same as the first hand, except with 2 fewer cards. Unfortunately, going to 4 is just out of the question, so we will keep. And that's going on the bottom.
Here, give me 1 second, Jason. I need to... Okay.
Since we just scried that 1 card to the bottom, I don't really want to play this. I just want to lead with this. Pass. Give us another chance to draw.
Play this.
Well, it's a turn late, but it's not terrible. We'll use this. I'm happy to have drawn 1 at all.
I think we just hold on to this. I think the only thing we're really worried about is like Viscera Seer, but just go ahead and play this guy here.
So we're gonna play one of these. Like that. Get this. Pay the 2. And then we're just going to pass the turn.
Feels like he is holding a collected company.
So we're gonna fire this off now. Makes it, if he has the counter spell, he has to use his stuff during his own turn. He doesn't have it, so now we get to play this stuff. We're gonna get these 2. This doesn't really do anything right now. These 2 are, this helps protect this one, so we'll just get these.
Might be greedy not to, but I think I'm just actually gonna do that. Sure.
Oh. Ooh.
Hold on.
This is something we haven't seen yet. Alright, so Spellskite. Now just a straight 0-4. Oh man, that was a good one. So yeah, we're just gonna lead with this. We're gonna go ahead and cast this now.
We still have this if anything terrible happens. My point. And this is just getting, yeah.
Yep, absurd. Oh. We'll put this and this into play.
Can I exile a collected company?
Yes, we'd like to use that. We actually get in. Gonna get in for 3 too. Now we'll ship back.
So drawing a Dispel would be sweet.
We hope to fade that.
I think now is the time. I mean, we know that he has another one, obviously, but...
So, is this going to be the card that I hate? It sure is.
It makes it a lot better when I draw it in every game.
Yeah. Thankfully, I have the collected company to rebuild.
Right, and that's what I was saying. But I think, like, just letting you hit me for 3, 6, 7, 8 is, like, take what is essentially going to be like half my life total just to try to use it again. I don't think is correct.
That's reasonable.
We could even do this and this. I mean, I'm not thrilled about that, but... Let's see, what is the... I mean, there's also this, right? Well, here's the thing. We have to do this and then do it again to take care of what's on the board. If we just do this, then we take care of everything we don't want, and we get to hold on to this, and I actually think that, as odd as it seems, that might be better.
Ugh. Gross.
Like, clearly, there's the downside of...
You lose your snap, but...
Yeah, but I mean, he's at 1 card. We have 1 card in hand, 1 card that does nothing on the board, and we have 4 cards, so I kind of think that's fine. We can get busy with this soon. Now it could just be another collected company, but
if only I could run that well.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Normally I would say, okay, so we can just play this Lighthouse and lose away this other card here, but we did see Fulminator Mage, so maybe it's fine not to do that for the moment.
That is reasonable. We'll just pass.
So I could just wait to try to get value off something, but I would like to start attacking. And we have a bunch of these in our deck.
So here comes the Restoration Angel. So we're going to do this during his upkeep. I don't want to give him another chance to draw the card that we don't want to see.
X for 3? What can you get for 3? Probably just a Kitchen Finks, I guess. We could just do this, but I think we just let that happen. What is he at for 3? Probably Kitchen Finks. Oh, no. Of course that.
Our plan, it has worked.
I mean, it's like we'll get to see what we would have drawn anyway.
Yeah.
That's fine. Actually, what? Yeah. I think we go ahead and...
This is a colonnade getting in. So we're going to take 7 here.
Oh. Why do I keep... What?
So we're at 12.
Why do I keep doing that?
I don't know, but we're at 12.
All right.
So we're at 12. That was a good draw. We are going to cast this right now. There's no reason to wait till his upkeep.
Stop.
You knew I had it. Oh.
Oh, no, I did.
Wow. I like this one again.
Jeez.
Okay. So I feel like we can give him the untap with these sitting on the table. Resto didn't beat in last turn. Oh, so no. Resto should actually be tapped.
Yeah, Resto should be
tapped. I'm free to attack for 2.
You are.
Okay. Yep. We are going to use one of these to nuke this right now. And then we'll pass. I'd rather hold this other one in case he has a second copy.
That might have... Well... Doesn't matter. That's what I was going to say.
Alright. So we're going to take 3 here. Okay. Yeah. Could have been better. So we're going to get in both these guys.
Let's see, so... You were at 12, so are you effectively at 9? Is that right?
Yes, I'm effectively at 9.
So this puts us to 8. So maybe we do want to do one of these guys just to... Let's see. We go to 8. He goes to 6. And that race gets shortened if we draw some burn. We could also just do this next turn, and that kind of answers that. So I guess this is fine.
So we'll play that, and then we will pass.
I'm going to go ahead and activate this just to take a look.
Yeah. Maybe I should have gotten rid of that earlier, but I was much more worried about there being a second colonnade coming.
I don't think this point that this... It's interesting. Like, I think we want to do this. And I think we want to keep these as well. So, yeah, we'll just spin that.
All right, so on the upkeep, we're going to do this. Try and cut that clock down a little bit. E on 3. Okay.
We're going to use it, but the reason we let him attack is just in case he has like a chord or something. He has less creatures that he can chord with now that they're tapped. So, can we use this? This? No, we can't. So we'll just.
We'll do that in response, obviously. Alright, so now we'll play this. And we will... actually, we'll use the mana off this to do it. Well, that is a thing.
Is this another... Dude... I was like, I'll just not keep the relic, because is he gonna get another Eternal Witness? And the answer is yes. Yes, he is. So now I kind of wish I just let go of one of these, but
I think I have to cast it now. I mean, I could cast it during his upkeep. He doesn't have the loot house anymore, so he can't dig for another. So if he has it in his hand, I'd rather him use it during his own turn. So yes, we will pass.
All right. Well, we are gonna fetch. You're at 9, right? Isn't that correct?
I am at 9.
Just to thin ever so slightly. So, Anger of the Gods would probably be quite the good draw.
So we get to bolster. We get to choose the bolster target here, which is great because we're going to pick this.
All right, well, that'll cantrip and block something.
Yep.
And we'll just pass. 2 Hierarchs.
Well,
I think these need to go here. Just
what can we do here? I can attack for 3 and 2. He'll block the 3 and take 2, potentially, and go to 5. That seems okay.
let's see how he attacks. So let's see. I think I'm gonna do this. Now, this is maybe a minor point. One thing I considered was maybe blocking. Like, the thing is, if he was to like CoCo in response was, I don't even know if he has any more collected companies, or then he could potentially get some minor value by getting a trigger if he can make a creature enter at instant speed. But I mean, ultimately, I do really want to get rid of this, so I'm kind of fine to just path now. Yeah, so it's kind of what it looks like.
What do we have to get here? What is good?
Couldn't you have done it for 5 and gotten like Archangel?
I did not portrait in.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, that's right. You were saying it maybe not be so good.
Yeah. It's either this or this here. I think it's this. Man, this is a tough decision. It might actually just be this. We have what? 2 and 1 left. Yeah.
You don't have another E-Witness, do you?
No. Otherwise, I'd be going for that immediately.
Yeah, I was like, finally, we've like grinded our way through a lot.
Yeah, I think it's just this. I mean, we are at 9. I don't think we're in danger of dying anytime soon, so we're just going to get this. If we do this here... Nah, we're throwing it at the face.
That seems reasonable.
Now we have to bolster our hierarch. And then goodbye. Yes, get that.
I don't think there's a huge downside to not. It's unfortunate that he gets all these triggers, but I'll just do this now. There's no cards in hand. We have no cards in hand. It was a reasonable draw. I think we'll probably just put it here now. It's obviously his highest damage potential creature.
Well, doesn't do anything this turn. But maybe it'll do something next turn.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying, obviously, because he can fly over our wall with it. But, you know, because we have so much mana, we're going to do this now. Sometimes you also draw well.
Ugh.
Sure. Let's just reset everything.
Yeah.
It might have been right to hold the bolt for something else, but
yeah. Yeah. I should have used not a green mana there, but that's fine.
That's going to be a big problem. And actually, our bolt really wouldn't have
done anything there. No.
Excellent draw.
All right, so we're going to do this. He does not have any creatures in his yard. We do, so we can start getting rid of things like Noble Hierarchs.
We're just going to have 6 here. And this is kind of what I was talking about when I said, well, you know, one thing to consider is that the more creatures we take out of our deck, the less good Reveillark gets. That being said, it's still probably good enough to keep in. But maybe not, I don't know.
We're going to bash for 4 here because he's probably going to block.
Yeah, we're going to block. We're obviously at 1.
Yep.
So this next draw step needs to be a fantastic one.
So we're going to untap. Pass. Hmm. Okay. So we're gonna do this. Eat another bird. Then we're gonna cast what we drew. Oh, you finally found one. All right.
Oh,
Now we.
now his Spellskite can attack.
Yep. Oh, okay. So our opponent's just dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I had a bullet, and your ooze is gigantic. Man, God, Scavenge Ooze, dude. When he comes down late, if you don't have an answer for him right away, he's just
a monster. Yep.
Yeah.
He's gross.
All right, well, that's it for our games. I hope you guys enjoyed it. What'd you think of this deck, Jason?
Yours, I like it actually. It seems like a good mix of proactive creatures to apply pressure to your opponent, similar to what we were doing with the Team Geist deck. However, it also just has this like combo kill element, and can generate just immense value, like we saw that one game, which was nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I like control decks, but just me as a player, I've never enjoyed playing pure control decks as much as I've enjoyed playing decks that sort of straddle the line, decks that can play control but also have the ability to be proactive. That's why I've always loved Restoration Angel and cards like that. And so obviously this deck is not as it doesn't have Geist, so it doesn't have the potential to close down the game as quickly. But where it sort of gives up in that regard, it lowers its proactivity in some ways, but just really, really, really pushes up the value side of the deck. Where, a deck like this, I think, your matches against like Abzan and Jund and whatnot are going to be a lot better than they would in a Geist deck. And then, the other thing is a lot of the creatures. One of the reasons like I liked Blade Splicer is they can be controlling in their own right. A Goyf is not going to be able to attack into 2 Golem tokens with or without first strike. That's 6 power, and if it's 6 first strike power, that's obviously even better.
Yeah, I think it's. I also like because like you give up some of the early like the way to close out the game with Geist, but you gain the way to close out the game with the combo kill part of the deck too.
Yeah, and I mean, and I think too, like the deck can sort of. The deck can really start, steamrolling. I like that, copying a Wall of Omens with Kiki Jiki is great. You're drawing a card. But copying a Blade Splicer is like drawing an actual proactive card. You're just going to make a 3/3 every turn. And pretty soon, you're building up so much incremental value that, A, they may not be able to even attack into you, and B, you can just kind of really start going, wide with the deck.
Yeah.
And then obviously, I really love how Resto and Kiki Jiki just have so many targets. Unlike the Geist deck, where sometimes you're just playing a Restoration Angel with no extra value, which is not bad. But it's nice in a deck like this where you have many more opportunities to play Restoration Angel and get some kind of extra value, whether it's another 3/3 out of Blade Splicer, additional 2/2s with Pia and Kieran, or a card with Wall of Omens or something, or like I said, just going infinite with Kiki Jiki. And while it hasn't happened yet, you can still blink Revelark with a Restoration Angel. So
Yep. Did you feel like the missing like the sort of cantrips off of Remand or Serum Visions hurt you at all, or was Wall of Omens enough to fill that void?
I kind of think Wall's and keep my desk. I kind of think Wall's enough. I mean, it's very rare, I think, where I would have a deck where I'm going to play 3 or 4 Walls and Serum Visions, because at that point you're sort of like, you're giving up on this card cantrip and card selection in Serum Visions by just playing Wall, and I just don't think you have the slots. In some way, Wall sort of saves you slots with Serum Visions while then working with Restoration Angel. And if there's Wall, depending on the meta, of course, Wall can be really relevant too against even decks like Burn, so now they can't attack with their... if you can keep them attacking, if you can keep them from dealing damage with things like Goblin Guide, or even Wild Nacatl, that's totally relevant.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, no, I definitely would run Sarah Visions, and in fact, I still don't know if the correct number is 4 wall. The previous version of this deck ran 2 bolts and 2 snaps, but since I went ahead and went to 4 bolts, I would like to run more Snapcaster Mages. That gives us the ability to sort of burn out our opponent more easily, and snap and bolt just go so well together.
Yeah. How did you feel about the mana leaks in the deck? Like, the Dispels were obviously, they were just fine, but the mana leak in general, do you feel like maybe it's just not for this matchup? Or do you think maybe it's not for the deck at all?
No, well, the thing is, like, you still have to respect the fact that there are combo decks out there. You still have to respect the fact that sometimes you're going to play against Gristlebrand combo deck or whatever the combo deck is, and you also you don't get cards like Abrupt Decay, like Jund, where you have the ability to just deal with so many permanents main deck. There's going to be a lot of times where you're probably looking at a leak and looking at a wall, and I think what you hope is that the beginning of the game gave you enough information to know what you need to do, because sometimes you're like, you know what, I can't play wall. That looks like they're on Storm, right? They went whatever the pain land is, the blue-red pain land. Yeah. And you know that you're going to want to sit on your mana leaks. But I think, it's there are going to be times when you don't draw a wall and you draw a mana leak and you mana leak something and you're going to be really happy. There's going to be times when you mana leak something, even a little into the mid game. And there may be times where you feel like mana leak is maybe you play a wall and then you don't get to leak something and then it doesn't come up later. But I sort of feel like that's just the way of the world. Just the way of Magic. You're never going to be in a position where you're always able to do the perfect thing in your deck every time you want to on curve. It just doesn't happen.
Yep.
But if there was truly a meta where there's like little to no combo or things that you just didn't want to mana leak, then maybe you could cut them. But I even keep mana leaks in against Affinity. And I had one guy one time that, like, he was just being a normal crap talker on Magic Online, and he was like, LOL, keeping mana leaks against Affinity. And I replied, and I was like, well, I did just counter your Etch Champion, and that is exactly why they're in there. So because in that matchup, Etch Champion is really what the game is about. And so, the other thing, too, is, there's going to be matchups where you're going to be taking Wall of Omens out, and you're going to want to leave your leaks in and bring in your negates and your dispels. And so, yeah, I'm kind of perseverating on this question, but I don't think you want to give up some of the hard permission that the deck has access to, just because you got to sort of plan for many different scenarios.
Oh, the call fail?
No, I'm with you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you just cut back in. Okay.
How did you feel about the Abzan Company deck? Have you played it before?
I have not played it before, so this is actually my first time playing it. I played the I played the Malira pod deck once or twice when that was illegal, and it feels close to the same. Just you are spell based instead of like having this artifact that you can use every turn. The deck is actually surprisingly good. Like, you can play through a bunch of removal spells just because you can, like, Eternal Witness back Collected Companies, like, as we saw in the final game.
How many Collected Companies did you actually cast that game?
I drew 3 of them. I think I casted 5 or 6 over the course of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts.
Yeah, I don't know, it's hard to say, right? Like, when I activated Loot House, whatever.
Yeah.
I drew a relic, and I was looking at your graveyard, and I was like,
yeah.
But I also had, like, a Path to Exile. I had 2 paths and explosives. It was, like, really difficult to tell what the right thing to do was, and I felt like...
I'd already seen 2 of my Ewits at that point, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's was like, well, maybe he won't draw another one, but... The other thing to consider that I really didn't think about at the time was when you're in top deck mode, it sort of turns off Scavenging News being like a complete game winner.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think that's it for us. Guys, don't forget to follow Jason. He is Real Evil Genius on Twitter.
Yep.
And what are you streaming on Twitch now?
So it's just twitch.tv/Real Evil Genius. I stream now Sunday nights at 8 p.m., Monday nights at 8 p.m., both Eastern Standard Time. I bounce between standard mostly. I'm playing more modern as I'm starting to slowly increase my card pool that I own on MTGO. And then I hope to be applying for Card Hoarder soon. I just need to get my average viewer count up a little bit higher, and then I'll be able to apply for that.
Right. In fact, you guys may have heard me mention that. Do Jason a favor and go follow him on Twitch. That way he is eligible for the Card Hoarder program.
Yep. Just follow me, and then you'll get the email notifications when I go live. So
very cool.
It's pretty sweet too. Yep.
And again, speaking of Card Hoarder, don't forget to go to cardhoarder.com and check them out. And one thing I didn't mention previously is if you're not involved in Magic Online, but you're considering it, they will actually give you, it's like $2, $3, $4, or $5 in credit off your first order just for being a part of Magic Online. And they have a paper to Magic Online credit conversion program, and that's where you can. It's like sending to a buy list, but kind of like if you buy list cards to Channel Fireball and you get store credit, rather than get what is roughly 50% of their market value, you get the 50% with, I think Channel Fireball is a 30% store credit bonus. And I believe that Card Hoarder does the same kind of thing. So you get a bonus for getting credit. If you have cards you're not using in paper, it's a great way to turn the investment you already made into Magic Online. Guys, as always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate the support. Like, subscribe. If you want to follow me on social media, you can go to greatnate.com and check out links to everything. And as always, draw well, smash face, and I will see you guys soon. Greatnate.com and check out links to everything. And as always, draw well, smash face, and I will see you guys soon.